The Lion and the Mouse. Once upon a time, in a big forest, there lived a mighty lion. One day, after a heavy meal, the lion fell asleep under a shady tree. While he was snoring loudly, a tiny mouse came by running and playing. By mistake, the mouse ran over the lion's tail. The lion woke up, angry and roaring. He caught the little mouse with his big paw. "How dare you disturb my sleep? I will eat you for this," growled the lion. The little mouse trembled with fear. "O mighty king of the forest," he squeaked, "please let me go. If you spare my life, I promise to help you one day." The lion laughed loudly. "A tiny creature like you help me? That's funny, but I will let you go because you made me laugh." The mouse was grateful. "Thank you, kind lion. I will never forget this," said the mouse. A few days later, the lion was walking in the forest when he stepped into a hunter's net. He tried to free himself, but the more he struggled, the tighter the net became. The lion roared for help. The mouse heard the lion's roar and ran to see what had happened. When he saw the lion trapped, he said, "Don't worry, my friend, I will save you." The mouse began to cut the ropes of the net with his sharp teeth. He worked hard and soon made a big hole in the net. The lion was free. The lion looked at the tiny mouse with gratitude. "Thank you, little friend. You have saved my life. I was wrong to think you were too small to help." The mouse smiled and said, "Even the smallest creature can help the biggest one. A kind act is never wasted." From that day, the lion and the mouse became good friends and lived happily in the forest. Moral of the story: always be kind and never underestimate anyone, no matter how small they are.
A long time ago, in a cozy little forest town, all kinds of animals lived happily together. As the new year came closer, everyone was very excited. The town square was full of shiny lights and bright decorations. There was a tall clock tower, ready to ring at midnight. By the river, in a small little hole, lived Benny, the rabbit. Benny loved making New Year's resolutions, but he often forgot them after just a few days. This year, he wanted to choose a resolution that was really special and could make a big difference. Benny decided to ask his friends for advice. First, he went to Fiona, the fox. "What's your New Year's resolution, Fiona?" he asked. "I want to be the fastest runner in the whole forest," Fiona said proudly. Next, Benny talked to Daisy, the deer. "I want to eat the yummiest leaves and fruits this year," Daisy said with a big smile. Benny thought for a moment. "But how can I pick a resolution that is fun and also really meaningful?" Finally, Benny visited Oliver, the owl, the wisest animal in the forest. "Oliver, what should I do for my New Year's resolution?" Benny asked. Oliver smiled and said, "The best resolution isn't just about you, Benny. It's about how you can help others." Benny's eyes lit up. He had an idea. Benny decided his resolution would be to spread kindness and happiness in the forest. He made small gifts, wrote nice notes, and even helped clean up the forest paths. On New Year's Eve, Benny gave out his gifts to all his friends. "Thank you for being my friends and making our forest such a happy place," he said. Everyone loved Benny's thoughtful surprise. As the clock rang at midnight, The animals cheered, and Benny felt so warm and happy inside. He learned that the best resolutions aren't about just yourself, they are about making the world around you brighter. This new year, Benny wasn't just a better rabbit, he was a better friend. Happy New Year, Benny said. Remember, the best way to start a new year is with kindness. What's your resolution this year?
Once upon a time, a group of mice lived happily together in a forest in their small homes. They played, worked, and shared everything with each other. Life was peaceful for the mice. One day, a herd of elephants entered the forest. Every day, they walked together to a nearby lake to drink water. On their way, they passed through the village of mice. The elephants were so big that they accidentally stepped on many homes and hurt some of the mice. The mice became very sad and scared. The leader of the mice decided to talk to the elephants. He went to the leader of the elephants and said, "Dear Elephant King, your big feet have destroyed our homes. Please take a different path to the lake. We are small, but we also have feelings." The Elephant King felt sorry for what had happened. He said, "Oh little mouse, I didn't mean to harm you. From now on, we will take a different path." The mice were happy and thanked the elephants for their kindness. The elephants didn't stop there. They decided to help the mice rebuild their homes. Using their strong trunks, they carried sticks and leaves to make new houses for the mice. The mice were very grateful and thanked the elephants again. Sometime later, hunters came to the forest. They set traps to catch the elephants. Many elephants got caught in the nets and couldn't escape. The Elephant King remembered the mice and sent them a message asking for help. The mice quickly came to help their big friends. With their sharp teeth, they cut through the nets and freed the elephants. The Elephant King and his herd were very thankful. The Elephant King said, "You may be small, but your help was very big. Thank you, dear friends." From that day on, the elephants and the mice became best friends. They helped each other and lived happily in the forest. Moral of the story: kindness always comes back to you. No one is too small to make a big difference. The lazy grasshopper and the hard-working ants.
One bright summer day, a grasshopper was relaxing in the sun. He sang songs and played his fiddle. As he rested under a shady tree, he noticed a group of ants working hard. "What are you doing?" asked the grasshopper. "We are gathering food for the winter," said one of the ants. "Why worry about the winter now? There is plenty of food everywhere," laughed the grasshopper. The ants didn't stop. They kept carrying grains of food back to their nest. The grasshopper just shook his head and continued to play. Days turned into weeks and summer came to an end. The leaves turned brown and the air became cold. Soon, snow covered the ground. The grasshopper could not find food anywhere. He shivered in the cold and grew weak from hunger. One day, the grasshopper saw the ants inside their warm nest, eating the food they had collected. He knocked on their door. "Please help me," he begged. "I have no food or shelter." The ants looked at the grasshopper and whispered among themselves. Then One ant stepped forward and said, "We will help you. Everyone deserves kindness, even if they made mistakes." The ants invited the grasshopper into their warm nest and shared their food with him. The grasshopper felt grateful and ashamed. "Thank you for helping me," he said. "Next time I will work as hard as you to prepare for the future." The ants smiled and said, "We all make mistakes, but what matters is that we learn from them." From that day on, the grasshopper kept his promise. When spring returned, he joined the ants, working side by side to gather food. Together they prepared for the next winter, providing that teamwork and effort lead to a brighter future.
One hot summer day, a crow was very thirsty. He flew from place to place looking for water, but there was no water anywhere. The crow felt tired and sad. After some time, the crow saw a clay pot under a tree. He flew down quickly and looked inside. There was some water at the bottom, but the clay pot was tall and the crow's beak could not reach it. The crow sat and thought, "What can I do to get the water?" Suddenly, he had an idea. The crow saw some small stones nearby. He picked up a stone with his beak and dropped it into the pot. Then he picked up another stone and dropped it in. He kept dropping stones into the pot. Slowly, the water level rose higher and higher. Finally, the water was near the top. The crow happily drank the cool water. "What a good idea I had," he said to himself. The crow flew away feeling proud and happy. Moral of the story: if you think smart and work hard, you can solve any problem.